Hello disc golfers, this is Matt Dollar and I'm here today with the final installment of the Bottoms Up at Boogie Bottoms. Going into the final 9 here, I'm at 17 under par, Nick Robinson is at 14 under par. We got 2 guys at 7 and 1 guy at 6 under par. So it's a 2-horse race for the Bottoms Up at Boogie Bottoms title, and I'm going to tee first here on hole number 10 with the Fluid Enforcer. Hole 10 is playing really long uphill and into the wind. There's an OB line going down those poles that extends from the highest pole just behind the basket and also all the way down the left side of that tree line and back to the left side. So Nick's shot caught a little bit of air here once it got that hyzer line, and he is barely in bounds on the left side line there. Logan's going to take the hyzer route with a destroyer, and he has throwing a beautiful shot. It's going to put him inside 20 feet for the birdie. Lytle is going to take the forehand route. First person we've seen throw a forehand on this hole. And he's throwing a pretty good shot. It's going to leave him about circle's edge for the birdie. And Seth Beaman will be last to tee. He's throwing the big hyzer. And we'll see what that looks like once we get up there. So here's Nick. He's throwing that shield. He's got it a little wide. You can hear him talking to it just a little bit there, and he should be in range for his par though. Seth Beaman tries to give it a run without going out of bounds on that OB line behind the basket. I'm going to miss my birdie putt, and Lytle is going to drain his. Good putt from Austin to get the birdie.
There you go, Nick.
And Nick will make a very nice little putt for the par, and now Logan will just have that 20-footer for his birdie. And we'll move on to hole number 11. So Logan and Austin both had a rough front 9, and I know it's got to feel good to bounce right back with the first birdie on the back 9. So they're both going to go forehand down this left side.
There you go.
I think that is the preferred route on this hole. I'm going to follow their line with the thumber. And the Moonshine Spark will dance through the trees and get me up there for a birdie putt. Nick Robinson is going to take the hyzer line. During the first round we had Carlos stand on the left side, so you had a better look at the hyzer line. But Nick's the only one who's even going to try it this time. Everyone else will stick to the forehand line. Although Seth is going to turn his over and put him in a pretty tough spot. But he pulls a very handy forehand out for his second shot, and we'll get him up there for a birdie putt. I mean a par putt. Nick Robinson has pulled his shot just a little, but it was going to be right there for the par, but it caught a little roll off that log you can see. And that's going to cost him a bogey here, and that's a tough break because he's having a pretty decent round. And this 2-stroke swing right here will just about put me out of range for Nick. So I'm able to get the birdie in there. Here's a little bonus footage. Jared Neal, when we were getting up to our tee pad here, we saw a disc lying, and we thought someone had left it, but nope, it was Jared Neal. It was his tee shot from the next hole,
Looking so good,
and he was trying to go around this alternate route. So you'll see that route here in a minute when we get back down onto 13. But right now we're playing the 345-foot, playing like 445-foot uphill hole 12 to the end of the chicken shack. You can just see the top of the black band there on the dynamic disc recruit basket. I'm going to go with the Defender. I go Big Annie up in the sky, and it just holds the Annie a little too long. If it had come out, I think it would have been parked. Instead, it's going to be a little short right. Logan grip locks one a little here, and holy cow, he crushed it. This one's going to go over the chicken shack, so it's not out of bounds. I imagine they didn't think anyone was actually going to throw it over there. But he is going to have to play it from the other side of the chicken shack. Seth Beaman's going to throw a big hyzer, and that's going to get him a birdie putt. He's probably about 30 feet out, short left. And Nick Robinson's going to throw a shot up there. pretty good line. It's probably going to be a little short too, though. So we got Nick. He just throws a little upshot to the bottom of the basket for the easy par. And now Logan tosses over the chicken shack, and he's going to have a really long putt just to save his par. In the meantime, Seth Beaman's going to drain a very nice birdie putt from just outside the circle. So Logan's going to be stuck with a bogey here on the chicken shack hole. And I'm going to get the Cenis on a really nice line, but it just is going to miss a little outside right. Austin misses his birdie bid. So it's looking like we're going to have just one birdie here on the chicken shack hole. And we are about to move to hole 13, which is the weird left turn. During round 1 we had Carla stand back by the previous basket so you could see the basket on this one. So this round we wanted to get her down here where you could see the actual gap that most everyone was throwing. I say most everyone because we saw Jared Neal throwing his second shot from the last tee pad. And he's not the only one that's going to throw that route. I decided that seemed like a good idea, but I went mid-range instead of driver. I'm going to go with the Mace here and just try to get a big anhyzer and let it kind of ride that left to right down the hill. It's going to turn out pretty good and give me a putt inside the circle for birdie. So in the first round, no one got a very good shot on this hole, and we didn't really have anyone up there putting for the birdie. Meanwhile, this round, everyone's thrown a better shot than the best shot we had. And Nick's going to be the furthest out putting for his birdie. And he is going to putt his shield right into the center of the chains. Very nice uphill putt from probably about 40 feet. He releases it very flat, maybe just the slightest touch of anhyzer, and it hyzers out dead center. Great putt from Nick Robinson. Austin Lytle's going to take a little jumper, and he's just off again. Lands on the rim and catches a little roll. Now he'll have a little comebacker too. Not the best putt there. So Seth Beaman is going to make a very nice stroke, and he's going to get his birdie. Logan will go in for the par. Austin's just barely going to leave it low, and he'll have to settle for a bogey. So we'll have 2 birdies on hole 14, or on hole 13, and we'll move to hole 14, which is a short little wooded tunnel shot. Seth Beaman is first to tee. He has gotten himself back to 8 under par. Nick Robinson is 14 under par at the moment. Just got one back on me there. Matt Dollar, I'm coming in at 18 under par right now, and that's the soft Cenis that I'm throwing right up the middle. Logan Fiske said he's going with a Pro Rhino here. He is at 7 under par currently. And Austin Lytle is also 7 under par, and he's throwing at some kind of prodigy putter. So after an early hit, he catches a later tree, and now we've got Nick Robinson putting for the birdie from probably about 35 feet down the hill. He is putting uphill, and he has to go with hyzer just around that tree from a straddle stance. Very, very nice putt from Nick. And Austin's going to hit a pretty good putt there to save his par. Seth will get another birdie, and I will tap in for my bird. And so will Logan. And we'll move on to hole number 15. And it is 195 feet. I think it plays just a little longer. Short tunnel shot, and then it turns right at the end. Seth goes with the forehand, and Nick is going to follow suit and also go with the forehand here. I'm going to take the hatchet out and go with a thumber. I throw it really up and down and low and try to make it flip quick, land on its back, and take a skip. It really didn't go as far as I wanted it to before it landed though, so it came up a little short. Austin goes forehand with a putter. So Nick's going to be the first one to putt, and he's just going to miss it. Austin's going to hit in that same place he hit on the last hole and catch a little roll again. I'm going to be just close enough to get the Sports Center Cenis in there for the birdie.
Nice.
And Logan will hit a very nice putt there to get his birdie. And Seth will just be parked. He'll do it the easy way. And Austin and Nick will take pars, and we'll move to hole 16, 503 feet downhill. It's a long hole though. I believe Seth is going with the destroyer again. He needs to put some anhyzer on it though. That one is going left and in the stuff. Oh, what a friendly kick though. That kick may be a stroke saver. Definitely an easy par now. I'm going to go defender, and I didn't quite get over on it enough. Comes out at the end and just barely gets into the back end of that little pile. Probably right about circle's edge. Logan's going to smash that white destroyer again. This time with a little bit of ante. He catches that tree, knocks him down pin high, probably about 50 feet to the right. And Nick's going to hyzer out here, and it's a tough little spot in there. I was in there during round 1. Austin's going to take out the forehand and try to go over those trees. He is throwing a brilliant shot here. It lands and kind of bounces backwards and left, but man, had that just bounced forward a little bit or not backwards, he would be absolutely parked, but he's still going to have a chance at his birdie. Well, Seth was lucky to kick out of there, but he did end up in the pile. I'm just in front of the pile, but I'm going to put my back foot on it. Not sure if that's helping. Wouldn't appear so. So now Austin has a chance for his birdie, and he will knock it in there. Good birdie from Austin. And he will be the only birdie here on hole number 16, and we'll move to hole 17. This is the last par 4 on the course, and it is a tough one. That pile is big, and this road is OB, and beyond it is OB, so if you don't think you can just smash one way past it, you kind of have to pick layup short or go way right. So I threw over it during round 1, but I did throw one in the pile during practice, so with my lead here, I really don't want to just give away any unnecessary strokes, so I threw the sheriff over to the right. I threw it pretty darn good though, so it still should give me a pretty good chance at getting up and down for birdie. Seth's going to throw a pretty nice drive there. And now we're going to have Logan. Logan's throwing a hyzer line, trying to go over the pile. I think he wanted to flatten that one out a little more than he did, but it is a very nice shot. Logan's got a lot of power. For him, that pile is not really coming into play. Same thing with Seth. As long as they throw a halfway decent shot, they should get it over the pile. Meanwhile, the rest of us really have to work to get over it or around it. Nick's going to go be on his drive there, and while that's pretty unfortunate, he will have a chance to save his par. It's a good thing about par 4s. Austin throws a really good looking second shot. Forehand on this hole. The nice thing about the forehand is you're playing away from the OB instead of having your disc hyzer towards it like the backhands. So once I find my stance down here, I'm going to go with a thumber with the moonshine spark. I actually got a little more pan than I intended to there. Took a big skip, but I thought I was going to be a little short. Must have caught a little roll because it's going to be a pretty good result. Actually a little past the pin and down to the left. Seth is also going to play a forehand here to finish away from that road and go towards the basket. Logan's going to have a long downhill look here. He's just going to pitch it up to the basket, and Nick's going to have a long putt for his par. He's going to miss just short. You can see those little flags whipping under the basket there. The wind definitely picked up towards the end of this round. I had to turn out some of that volume. And the Sports Center Cenas catches center high like a champ, and I will grab the birdie 3 after playing the safe tee shot here on hole number 17. So Nick will have this putt for his bogey. And we'll move on to our last hole of the tournament, hole number 18, 405 feet downhill. And Seth Beaman will lead us off here on hole 18. Seth, after having a pretty bad front 9, has bounced back with a lot of birdies here on the back and has put together a pretty decent round. He is at 11 under par, and that should be good enough to climb him back into the top 5 here. Lytle's going to go forehand, and he's let it come out just a little bit early. Really flirting with that OB on the right. I'm going to make sure I don't flirt with the OB on the right. No reason to give away any extra strokes here at the end. I throw the Fluid Enforcer over to the left. And may have a putt, may not. We'll see what it looks like once we get down there. Nick Robinson's going to throw that Enforcer and get a nice little skip off the road. And a friendly little roll should give him a nice little putt for the birdie to finish off his tournament. Logan Fiske trying to get the birdie to go to double-digit under par here to finish the event. And he's throwing a very good shot, so he's got a good chance of doing that. Looks like Austin did go out of bounds there off the tee. And he's going to have a long look for his par, not able to get it. And I was stuck behind those trees, so I had to try and just throw one in from a little Anheuser stance. So Logan Fiske will get the birdie here, and he will shoot a 1 under par. Lots of up and down after that triple bogey and bogey back to back, but he fights back and gets himself into a big tie for 6th place. And we got Nick Robinson, who shoots 4 under for the round. He's going to finish in 2nd place at 15 under par. Great shooting from Nick Robinson this weekend. Austin Lytle is going to shoot a 58, which is 1 over. It's going to drop him to 12th place, but he does still finish in the cash. And Seth Beaman is going to shoot himself a 53 and finish at 11 under par, and he will be in a 4th place finish. And I'm going to shoot a 50, 1 stroke worse than the first round, and I will be at 21 under par, and we'll finish with a 6-stroke victory for 1st place. Thank you to Latitude 64 for the disc that I'm throwing here, and thank you for everyone who contributed to this wonderful event. Thanks to all the hole sponsors, the people with the drones, and all the TDs and tournament volunteers. And of course, a big shout out to Carlos here for filming and putting up with all this nasty weather. Thank you guys for watching Matt Dollar Disc Golf. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel.